My name is Mwav, an African storyteller based in Nairobi. I'm extremely grateful for the many stories that I've gotten to tell in 2022. I had the privilege of visiting 6 different countries, Uganda, Rwanda, Zambia, South Africa, Eswatini and Mali. Eswatini and Mali, it was my first time. Zambia and South Africa, it was my first visit after 12 years of being there. I'll share more about the stories that I got to tell there. Throughout all my journeys, I got to see how Africa is indeed a country, with cultures and smiles that are very similar from east to west to central to south. In all this, I captured a total of 34,800 images and video clips. This translated to 12 terabytes of data. I've gone through the 12 TBs of data and I've been able to pick what I might say were my favorite stories. It's not favorite like these are the stories that I gave my all and others I did not give my all. No, it's just that we all connect with stories differently as creators, as consumers, as clients. And for me, I think the experience one has in telling a story can actually make it a great story for them or not. Like for example, in March, I got to visit a part of Kenya that I'd never been to before. This is in Turkana County. And this is a part quite in the north of the county called Ilemi Triangle. This is a place that I'd only heard of in school. But finally, I got to get there. I was telling the story about the drought that had really hit hard in the Horn of Africa. I got to see how the drought has negatively affected livelihoods, but I also got to see people who are actually turning the tide and actually changing the narrative and saying, yes, this is the land that we have, but we can actually get food out of it, and they're actually doing that. Earlier in February, I got to be on the yet to be completed Nairobi Expressway, making portraits for Johnny Walker for Magical Kenya Open. Now, I'm not a big fan of corporate shoots like portraits and the like, but this, hands down, has to be one of the best corporate photography assignments that I've ever had. I can't wait to see what IMG Kenya will brief me for this year. In April, Mwai Kibaki, our third president, rested. And despite his shortcomings, many people, I included, believe that he was the best performing president we've ever had as a nation.
It's just something deeply emotional when you see the policemen lying up over the highway, saluting for the last time. This was the commander-in-chief for 10 years. And now they're saying kwaheri to him. It's like, sir, commander, your last respect. We honor what you did and we love what you did for this country until we meet again.
And for me, it was just an honor being there at his final farewell and documenting what the atmosphere was like. In May, I was back in my favorite county in Kenya. Marsabit County. This time I was documenting health, sanitation and education initiatives by FH Kenya. What made this extra special for me is I got to visit for the very first time ever Huri Hills. Now this is a place that is so beautiful when it rains. It is amazing, the lush green color of the hills that are just rolling from one end of your frame to the next is just amazing. It's so beautiful, you will believe that you're actually in the middle of the desert. Another thing that I got to do is visit Kalacha Catholic Church. What is special about it are the beautiful pictures depicting different scenes of the Old and New Testament on the walls of the church. These were actually done by an Ethiopian artist, Alemdiehu Bizune. June took me from Chalbi Desert dust to Rift Valley dust as we were eating fish during the safari rally. It was such an honor being accredited for a second year in a row to actually cover the world's greatest rally.
Switched up my position, getting closer to the hairpin for some closer action, remotely triggering the camera such that I remain safe and still get some good shots. No need of getting killed when taking killer shots.
Rewind. In February, the classic safari rally. This was a personal project which I hold dear to my heart.
I've decided to move to somewhere else. I'm not really liking the shots that are here. So I'm moving to a different location. Hopefully I'll be able to get something that's better, more exciting, different. Yeah, let's see.
This was the 10th year that the classic rally was running, but for me it was the first time that I was actually shooting it, and there was so much to learn because it's very different. I mean, I had to drive over 1,300 kilometers, and not just driving, those driving, navigation, shooting, editing, posting while on the go. It was such a tiring experience, but quite rewarding because of the people I actually got to meet along the way.
As a van is good. It's good. Because of speed is 180.
Those are Esamoyo Primary School students, future commentators of motorsports in Kenya.
And the CNN feature that I actually got while just doing my work.
Driving along the rally route, Moav sets up near action, sometimes capturing a photo of a boy like him. He aims to show what's happening beyond the rally car.
Later in June, towards the end of June, I was actually in Rwanda, telling the stories about farmers who are working with food for the hungry. This was for the Christmas gift catalog. July and August had me traversing 5 different countries, telling the story of AIDS vaccine research initiatives in Africa. It was 13 flights, hundreds of kilometers covered on road, thousands of clicks, and countless miles of scientists at work. My highlight for September was documenting the peaceful transition from Uhuru Kenyatta to William Ruto. What made this extra special was the fact that I actually got to tell the story not just of Uhuru and Ruto, but also the people in the stadium, the people who actually came to celebrate with the rest of the country what was actually taking place. My favorite commercial shoots for the year coincided with the blooming of jacaranda trees in Nairobi. We had so much fun at this shoot. I'm really looking forward to phase 2 of the shoot this year. In November, I got to see individuals and institutions working to restore Kenya's tree cover, one seedling, 1 acre, 1 county at a time. This was in Narok, Uasin Gishu, and Kakamega for UNDP. A few days after this, I was in Zambia and Eswatini telling COVID stories. In Zambia, we're in a place called Petauke, which is in the east, closer to Malawi. And yes? Okay, quickly, don't touch the lights or the camera, okay? Okay. What are you mixing?
Soup.
Soup. Okay. You'll make some for me.
But there is no more left.
There's no more left? So now what will I drink?
There is lemon tea.
There's lemon tea?
Yes.
Okay, sawa, asante.
We have plucked a lot.
Okay.
We have plucked a lot.
Okay. So don't touch the camera, Zion. For Eswatini, it was actually my first time there. We were around Mbabane, which is the capital. I have never seen a more vibrant night sky like this one outside my hotel in Mbabane. And let me just tell you, the reed dance that I saw is not what you expect. There's a video coming up after this, so stay tuned. I'm in Mali. What's this village called?
Wulufiena.
Wulufiena.
Yes.
I'm in Wulufiena, recording a documentary about the life of a community health worker. Kuna mafans. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Mwangi. Je suis photographique au Kenya. Despite visa issues which almost had me deported, I'm so glad at the warmth that I received and also the cordiality that allowed me to actually immerse myself in Malian culture. You can see the sweat on me. That's how hot it is inside the room. So you can imagine how the camera is feeling right now. Yeah, that's why I've resorted to the non-Canon approved way of cooling cameras. So it's finished filming. We've been recalled and told we did not film enough, so we've returned to take some more shots. So of all this, which is my favorite story? Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to be objective and say this was my best story because, as I said earlier, each story has a different thing that attracts me to it. This, what I've actually mentioned here, and also others that I've not been able to share. Each story it's dear to me for a different reason. But out of the 34,000 plus images that I shot, there is one which is my outright favorite. And it is this one of Isaac Juma in Mogotini, Kilifi County. For those people who actually grew up watching the Safari Rally and actually making toy cars that mimics the cars that we saw, you actually get this image. This image represents the dreams, the hopes, the aspirations of many youth in Kenya, dreaming that one day you can actually be as fast or be as good a driver as the guys that you are actually watching passing outside your home. There's also some very nice analogy to it, how it's man versus machine and man is winning it. I just love also the beautiful leading lines from the power lines and the road down here. Not to forget the beautiful Kilifi environment, which is also captured in the image. So hands down, my favorite image of the year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to telling more amazing stories this year.